gosh, hi, hello, welcome back to another podcast episode. Welcome to my newly formed season 2 of the Good Witch, Bad Bitch podcast. We're doing video podcasts too, so if you're watching this on YouTube, what's up? You've seen all my hand motions I've just done. So today's episode, I want to do, I have no script. I'm sorry, guys. I want to be upfront that I don't have a script or an outline. So there is a possibility of it being incredibly rambly. So we are going to just go with it and we're going to see what happens. It's kind of just something I want to talk about. It's just something I've been thinking about a lot. I guess I would say this was inspired by a book I read. And this book, it's a great book, it's a good book, it's a good book, but it is very traditional ceremonial witchcraft. And I guess what I want to talk about today, I probably should start with explaining what I'm going to talk about, is this feeling, and I've felt this since day one of my journey in the spiritual sphere of things, and especially in the witchy sphere of things, where there's this pressure to be a serious witch. And this role of a serious witch is not a role that is encouraged that you kind of figure out for yourself. It's more of you have to prove by fitting these stereotypes or guidelines of what a real serious witch is, and if you don't, then you're just a silly little new age bitch. That's a bad thing. I don't know where all this hate for new age people came from. Okay, yes, I get it if they're being fucking problematic, like that Twin Flame documentary, but there's a lot of people who are very new age who are completely minding their own goddamn business. And there's just this weird, holier than thou aspect that I think a lot of the witchy community has against new age people, and new age is used as a sort of insult. And it's used a lot in that context of if you're not a serious witch, you're new age, or you are, oh my god, you're just in it for the aesthetics or whatever. And it's why not let people enjoy the aesthetics of things? But I wanted to talk about that. I want to dive into this. Let me get comfy. Let me tell you, this seat that I'm seating in right now is not the seat it's not the seat to do bi-sitting in. And I need to get a seat where I can do my bi-sitting. If you don't know what bi-sitting is a phenomenon that all bisexual people, we can't sit normal. We have to be crisscrossed or fold our bodies up in our chair. I don't know. I really don't understand, but it's true and it is what it is. Okay, so I was reading this book, and it's a book for a lot more of your traditional ceremonial witchcraft stuff. They are using Latin. They are, working with the big guns like that, I guess. I can't think of any other examples, but you know what I'm saying? They're using Latin, they're being very, very ceremonial with it. They are, they're really in the, I don't know, I want to say extremes, but I don't think it's an extreme. I just think that they're doing some big boy stuff. That's what it is. They're doing big boy stuff, okay? Love that for them. So cute. And so reading this book, I was feeling guilty that I was not interested. I was thinking about other books on the same topic that I've read that I maybe just preferred, although this book had a lot of really great information. And I was feeling weird, I was feeling guilty about that. I was why am I, why can't I be a big boy? Why can't I be a big boy with this? Why can't I, what is it about it that bothers me? Because when you're a 12th house stellium I am always doing shadow work. I'm always trying to get to the root of my feelings and understand the depths underneath what I'm experiencing. And I kind of came to realize I just don't feel aligned with this. I'm so serious. Not that I don't take my spirituality seriously. I absolutely do. But I think what makes my spirituality so pleasurable for me is that it's fun and it's exciting and it's it allows me to be goofy. Like, there's no, like, I don't need to be pronouncing Latin perfectly and doing these huge ceremonies. Like, I can literally just go to my altar and, like, be like, what's up, spirits? Like, you know, like, I'm gonna pull some tarot cards because I'm having a mental breakdown, you know, and that doesn't make me any less of, like, an actual or serious witch, but there is that weird, like, pressure. And I think that you see it so much in the online witchy communities, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like over the past year or so, I've seen, like, a lot of hostility in the witchy community online, and I'm so fine being by myself. So it's not like, I don't know, it just feels like everyone's always mad about something, or everyone's always, you know, calling out somebody for being not serious enough, or not, like, oh, you don't know this, or, like, I don't know, it's just weird stuff like that. And it feels so hostile. Like I said, it feels hostile. It feels icky, honestly. It's just like, I got into, you know, more off the beaten path spiritual practices because I enjoyed the freedom that came with it and the openness. And I think that a lot of times, like, we're kind of failing at that in the online witchy community. Again, there's just all this, like, one-upping and, like, oh, well, you know, they're all about the aesthetic, or they're not serious enough, or that's too floofy. Let the bitch be floofy. Let the bitch, and I cannot stress this enough, be floofy. Let her be, let us fucking vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. I think there's a difference between, you know, witchy books that are just kind of regurgitated information from other sources, or, you know, there's even, like, AI written books, which obviously is just trash and super fucked up. But, like, I've talked about this before. There are some witchy books that look really pretty and they are pretty surface level, but that works for some people. And for some people, that might be their first witchy book. And that might be a great introduction. Not every book has to be, like, fucking eye-opening, or, you know, like, groundbreaking, or the most advanced level. Like, I think a lot of what spirituality is a personal exploration into your own beliefs. So I think it makes sense that a lot of books are more beginner friendly, and maybe, God forbid, even a little fucking floofy. And I'm gonna say it again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You wanna do a silly little fucking easy ass spell? Fucking go for it. Those are some of my favorites, because even when you're dealing with a depressive episode, or you don't have a lot of shit, or you just, like, don't have the goddamn spoons to, you know, do a fucking ritual in Latin, or, like, do a full ceremonial thing, or go to a goddamn crossroads, like, you can still be doing something that you feel like is helpful. And yeah, I mean, that's it. That's, like, my take. It was just something interesting that I wanted to share of, like, I just don't get, like, I think that's something that has been kind of imposed on me, and I've realized that. And I think I've put that pressure on myself a lot, kind of mirroring that of what I've seen other people talk about. And I just would ask, I would do, like, a call to action right now of, like, for those of us who are in the spiritual community, let's just be more nice to each other. The world is very fucked up. The world is very hard. So what if, just a thought, what if we were really nice to each other and honored each other's individual spiritual paths, and recognized that just because someone isn't as serious or committed or dedicated or, you know, whatever as you are to your path, like, they can be just as valid as your path. We don't need to prove our spirituality. Like, this is so, like, Christianity of us, you know, like, it's not a competition. We don't need to prove ourselves. We don't need to act more serious for our spirituality to be valid. And I think when we look at each other's spiritual practices and judge them, it's the same as judging another person for living a life differently than you. I think that people are on different paths. I think people are different people. We have different likes, we have different love interests, we have different ways of expressing ourselves and our gender identity, we have different ways, like different foods we like, and that doesn't, the difference between two people doesn't mean that one is invalid. In the same way, just because someone's practice is something that you would deem floofy or way too into aesthetics or, you know, like too fucking goofy, like too silly or too new age, God forbid, that doesn't make it any less valid. And honestly, it could be more valid than yours. Boo. Boo-hoo. It could be. Like, if, you know, I think what matters, the validity of someone's practice, A, is not something that an outside person can determine, but B, is something incredibly personal to the person practicing the practice. So we can't fucking know. We can't know. How are we to know? We can't. So let's just be nice. Like I said, the world is crazy. Everyone is fighting their own battle. Let's be nice. Let's be cute. Let's have fun. Let's not invalidate other people's practice just because it looks different than ours. I feel like we should have learned this in preschool. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to say today. I think that it's just something I was thinking about, and I hope that maybe this helped somebody else. Maybe this helped you put your feelings into words, or maybe it just was validation for you, or maybe it was eye-opening and maybe you can see like, oh, maybe I've been a little bit, you know, problematic towards other people's practices. So with that, if you like this episode, please make sure to share it. I love when you share it. It makes my heart so happy. And feel free to, you know, use the hashtag goodwitchbadbitch or GWBB on Instagram to continue the conversation, because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. You can also do so in the comments of my YouTube video here if you're watching on YouTube. And you can always DM me, as always, on Instagram. I'm at Luna the Glam Witch. I'll have all those links below. I'd love to hear your all thoughts, all of your guys' thoughts on Instagram or Threads. I have X'd X. I'm not on fucking Twitter. Fuck that shit. But I'm loving Threads, so hit me up there. I'll be there chilling. Yeah, I love you all so, so much, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd encourage you to stick around. I've got tons more content for you here on the podcast and over on YouTube under my name, Luna Seranova. Make sure to follow me at Luna Seranova on Instagram for everyday witchy content. And if you'd like to share your support in a super easy and free way, go ahead and rate this podcast to let others know what you thought. My books are open for tarot and astrology readings. I've just released 2 new specialty readings, the Good Witch reading and the Bad Bitch reading, each to help you connect to your higher Good Witch, Bad Bitch self. Go ahead and check out my website for more details on that. And if you're ready to up your Good Witch, Bad Bitch game with a group of fun, supportive, and loving witchy friends, you should join my Moon Fam on Patreon, and you'll get access to our group chat on Discord, our book club, and other behind the scenes and exclusive content that you'll only get on Patreon. All right, love, I'll see you next time. Until then, go forth in your life with the power and love of the Good Witch, Bad Bitch.